What if I told you that while I was sleeping, eating, and even hanging out with my friends, a piece of code was fighting for its life in the most volatile financial markets on the planet? I'm Alex, and this is Alex Talks Finance. Usually, I'm the one doing the research, staring at the charts, and making the calls. But this week, I decided to do something absolutely insane. I took $100, real money, mind you, and I handed the keys to my entire brokerage account over to an autonomous AI agent. I told it one thing: make me as much money as possible in 7 days and do not ask me for permission. I didn't touch the keyboard, I didn't override a single trade, and honestly, by Wednesday, I was convinced I had just thrown $100 into a digital paper shredder. But what happened by the end of the week? Well, let's just say the results didn't just shock me, they kind of terrified me. Now, before we get into the play-by-play, you have to understand what we're dealing with here. We aren't talking about a simple trading bot that buys when a line goes up and sells when a line goes down. We are talking about an AI agent. This thing is powered by the same kind of logic as GPT-4, but it has the ability to browse the web, read live news headlines, scan social media sentiment, and execute trades in real time. It's like giving a Wall Street analyst a million cups of coffee and the ability to think at the speed of light. I set it up on a Monday morning, clicked Execute, and then I did the hardest thing any investor can do. I walked away. Day one was honestly a snooze fest. I kept checking my phone every 5 minutes, expecting to see the AI had turned my $100 into $1,000, or maybe accidentally bought a fleet of used cars. But for the first 6 hours, nothing. The agent was just watching. It was scraping data from the Federal Reserve, it was reading earnings call transcripts, and it was analyzing historical patterns. It was being more patient than I have ever been in my entire life. Then, at 2:15 p.m., it made its first move. It didn't go for Bitcoin, it didn't go for Tesla. It bought a leveraged inverse ETF on the semiconductor industry. My heart sank. I thought, why is it betting against the biggest tech trend in history? I almost hit the kill switch right then and there, but I promised I wouldn't interfere. By the time the markets closed on Monday, I was down $3. Great start, right? Tuesday is where things started to get weird. I woke up to a notification that the AI had stayed up all night trading international markets. While I was dreaming, it had executed 14 different trades in the foreign exchange market. It was jumping in and out of the Japanese yen and the euro like it was playing a high-stakes game of hopscotch. The precision was surgical. It wasn't looking for home runs, it was looking for base hits. It was capturing gains of 50 cents here, 80 cents there. By noon on Tuesday, that initial loss was gone, and I was up to $104. I started thinking, okay, maybe this thing is a genius. But then the afternoon volatility hit. A major tech company released an unexpected statement about their supply chain, and the market went into a tailspin. I watched the AI's dashboard as it started selling everything. It liquidated my entire portfolio in 4 seconds. I was sitting there in cash while the market dropped 2%. It dodged the bullet. I was stunned. By Wednesday, the shock factor really started to set in. This is the point in the experiment where most people would have panicked. The AI decided that the stock market was too risky for the day and moved the entire $100 into a series of obscure micro-cap cryptocurrencies. Now, if you know anything about microcaps, you know they are the Wild West. You can lose 90% of your money in an hour. I was staring at the screen, watching the balance fluctuate: 106, 98, 112, 85. My stomach was in knots. I kept asking myself, Alex, what are you doing? This is a terrible idea. But the AI's log showed its reasoning. It wasn't gambling. It was identifying a liquidity squeeze that was about to happen on a specific decentralized exchange. It was seeing patterns in the order book that no human eye could ever catch. 2 hours later, it sold. The balance? $129. In 3 days, it had outperformed every single one of my personal portfolios for the month. Thursday was the dark night of the soul. The AI got cocky, or at least that's how it felt to me.
It entered a massive position in a highly volatile biotech stock right before an FDA announcement. This is the kind of stuff professional traders avoid because it's basically a coin flip. If the news is good, the stock rockets. If it's bad, it craters. I spent the whole day pacing my office. I didn't even want to look at the screen. I was thinking about the moral of this video, how I'd have to tell you guys that AI is just a fancy way to lose money faster. The announcement came out at 3:30 p.m. The stock halted. When it reopened, it dropped like a stone. My balance plummeted to $72. I felt that familiar sting of defeat. I thought, well, there it is. The AI is human after all. It got greedy. I went to bed that night feeling like the experiment was a failure. But Friday morning changed everything. I opened the app expecting to see a big fat zero. Instead, I saw a number that made me rub my eyes. $184. I couldn't understand it. How did it recover from a 30% loss overnight? I went into the trade logs. While I was moping about the biotech loss, the AI had identified a massive overreaction in the market. It realized the biotech stock had dropped way further than the news actually warranted. So, while everyone else was panic selling, the AI was buying the dip with every single cent I had left. It held for exactly 45 minutes, caught the dead cat bounce, and then flipped that money into a series of short-dated options on a retail giant that was having a flash sale. It was a sequence of trades so complex and so rapid that I would have needed a team of 10 analysts to even spot the opportunity. As the clock ticked down to the final hour of the trading week on Friday, the AI did something even more surprising. It stopped. It sold every single position and moved the entire balance back into a stable currency. It sat there, idle, for the last 3 hours of the day. Its log simply read, "Market volatility exceeds optimal risk parameters. Profit preservation mode engaged." It knew when to walk away. That's something most human traders, including myself, struggle with. We always want one more win, one more trade. But the AI had no ego. It had a goal, it hit a threshold, and it decided the risk wasn't worth the reward anymore. So, let's look at the final tally. 1 week, $100 starting balance, no human intervention. The final result, $192.43. That is a 92% return in 7 days. If I could do that every week for a year, well, the math gets pretty ridiculous. But let's be real for a second. Is this the future of finance? Are we all just going to have AI agents running our lives and our bank accounts while we sit on a beach? It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, the efficiency is undeniable. The AI didn't get tired, it didn't get emotional, and it processed more information in a week than I could in a lifetime. But on the other hand, it was terrifying to realize how little control I had. If that AI had made a mistake, if there was a bug in the code or a black swan event that it hadn't been trained on, that $100 would have been gone in a heartbeat. We are entering an era where the human element to finance is being replaced by pure, cold logic. And while that logic can be incredibly profitable, it's also completely indifferent to your well-being. This experiment taught me that AI isn't just a tool, it's a force multiplier. It took my $100 and treated it with a level of discipline I simply don't possess. But it also reminded me that the markets are becoming a battleground of algorithms. If you're still trading based on gut feelings or a hunch you saw on a message board, you are going up against machines that don't sleep and don't feel fear. So what's next? Am I going to give the AI $1,000? $10,000? Honestly, I'm tempted, but I'm also cautious. This week was a win, but in the world of finance, the biggest trap you can fall into is thinking you've figured it all out. The AI won this round, but the market always has a way of humbling you. If you want to see me push this even further, maybe a month-long challenge or giving the AI a much larger budget, let me know. But for now, I'm taking my $92 of profit and I'm going to buy a very nice dinner. Because if the robots are going to take over the world of finance, I might as well enjoy the food while I still can. Thanks for watching Alex Talks Finance. Stay smart, Stay skeptical, and I'll see you in the next one.